so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Thanks for having me on.
Awesome. I know Tesla's been quite busy lately, Dave. You've released a new kick-ass album called Simplicity, and also have plans to tour this year. In fact, I think you guys are going to be doing some shows with Monsters of Rock cruise this month, in fact. And I believe you played the cruise in the past. How's that experience been for you?
Oh, yeah, the cruise is always a good time, man. We've done it just about every year. For, I don't know, I think this is going to be our 5th or 6th time.
Okay.
And it's fun, you know. I always say it's a really great, like, experience and value for the fans, even though it's kind of expensive to do a whole, you know, vacation package. Really, if you're a fan of that kind of music, you know, the amount of bands you get to see, it's like, it's actually pretty cheap if you think about it like that. And also, I mean, a lot of the bands are, you know, kind of bands that don't tour a lot, so it's difficult to see them, and you get to see them all in one place at one time is pretty, you know, special. So, you know, it's awesome, and, you know, everyone's all hanging out, the bands are hanging out with the fans, and people getting up on stage with other bands and jamming. It's a lot of fun.
And after your Monsters of Cruise is over, in fact, you'll be going out on tour this summer with Def Leppard, and it'll be like 1987 all over again. What can the fans expect at your upcoming shows? Are there any songs that you have not played in a while that you're hoping to play live?
Well, we always like to keep the set list interesting for us, and you know, like album tracks, fan favorites. You know, just, you know, every show or two, we really switch it up just to keep it interesting for everybody. You know, we always play all the hits, but, you know, we like to you know, have a little room to play with you know, old stuff and also new stuff from Simplicity. So, you know, it's kind of a different show every night, but, you know, even on record, where we're doing a shorter tour, shorter set list, we're still going to be doing, you know, new stuff and you know, an album track or two, and obviously like the classic one that everyone wants to hear too. So it'll be a good set.
Very cool. So not only are you busy with your day gig in Tesla, but you've also managed to work on a really cool solo project. In fact, you hooked up with Rat Pack Records, an amazing label with killer artists. I mean, they worked with Michael Wilton of Queensryche, Pamela Moore. What can you tell me a little bit about how that solo record came together for you?
Well, I was doing my solo band at the time for a bunch of years, and we put out a couple EPs on our own, and really basically finished the bulk of an album, and then the band kind of stopped really working. I got really busy with Tesla. I was starting to do a lot more songwriting outside of Tesla and outside of my band, and you know, it just wasn't really focusing on doing it as a sort of viable project. But the stuff was recorded, and through a mutual friend, Mike Stone, who also used to be a right, who's got a bunch of different records out on that Pack Records. I ran into him down a couple years ago, and he'd say, "Hey, man, you should get you these guys Rat Pack." You know, being the president guy, hit it off. Pretty fun, you know. It's like, well, I'm going to do an instrumental record and, like, you know, start writing and recording. You know, but once I talked to him, it's like, well, you have this whole album of songs that you haven't released yet. Why don't we just put that out? Like, okay, cool. That's a lot easier than starting from scratch. So that's kind of how it came about. But now I'm writing and demoing up new songs for another solo record. Probably come out next year sometime.
Very cool. And that was going to be, you know, something else I was going to ask you, like, are there any other plans to follow up with the second solo album?
Yeah, definitely. That is something fun to do. I'm always writing, so I like to have a little bit of a different, you know, avenue to put it out on. It'll be fun.
And it is, your solo album's very diverse. It's a unique album, and it kind of gives you a platform for branching out from your day gig with Tesla, you know. Where did the influence come from writing the material on the key?
man, it pretty organically just sort of came out. And, you know, those songs actually were kind of stuff that it was written over probably a year or two kind of as we were going, because we were doing a lot of shows. So, you know, we were kind of just writing and playing, and not so much like, okay, let's all sit down and write a record for the next couple of months. You know what I mean? It was more of a long process. So it kind of just came about. But one thing I do like about the keys that it just, like you said, it's kind of diverse. And, you know, a lot of newer bands will kind of try and stick to one sound when they put out especially their first record. Everyone likes to sort of establish their sound and all that. And there's definitely a lot to be said for that. But at the same time, most of my favorite bands don't do that. And, you know, most of the classic records that I listen to are like, you know, not necessarily jumping different genres all over the record, but like, you know, there's a whole bunch of different feels, and it doesn't all just sound like the same song in different keys, you know. And that may have worked against us at times, but whatever, man. I don't care. It would be really boring to just play the same style. So I like that it has some different vibes, and I'm definitely going to continue that on this next one.
Yeah, actually, the song Yours to Hold is one of my favorites on the album. And, you know, as I said, you know, it's definitely very different than what you do with Tesla. It's definitely has, you know, the hard rock vibe, but also a bit of blues and country, you know, vibe as well. So I think it's really great that it gives you a platform just to do something different and kind of venture out into, you know, a different genre than Tesla. And there's another song on there called On My Own, which your drummer from Tesla, Troy, actually contributed on that song as well. And how was that experience?
Yeah, you know, that's like I was saying earlier, I've been writing for, you know, people outside of Tesla and outside of my band, just like writing songs, trying to get them, you know, recorded by other artists. And I go out to Nashville a couple times a year, and I write with country writers out there. And that was a song I wrote out there with a real good friend of mine named Doc Holliday. And, you know, we demoed it up to try and get it cut by somebody else. But the demo sounded pretty cool. And, you know, we had, I think, 9 songs for the Key album. And I wanted to make it at least a full 10. Like, to me, it's got to have 10 songs to be a record, unless they're really long songs. So, like, man, I don't want this to be a long EP. It's got to be a full album. So let me find the 10 songs. But the band wasn't really together anymore, so it was like, well, it's going to be a lot of work to try and hire new guys and write all new songs. Oh, wait, I got that one from Nashville. It's like a cool sort of rock ballad. And so I just recut some, you know, keeper vocals on it and put it on the record. But the demo, I mean, the demo is the record, really. I mean, that version, Troy lives in Nashville, and he actually hooked me up with a bunch of the writers that I'm still, you know, working with out there now. And he played in the demo, because he really liked the song, and he liked, you know, he's a friend of Doc's too. He said, oh, well, here, let me play drums on it. And he got a really great studio out there, and just, you know, kind of called it up, pressed record, and laid down a really badass drum track. And then it ended up being on the record, which was really cool. I was very excited to have Troy on my solo record. That was really awesome.
Yeah, no, how awesome. And, you know, a lot of people may not know this, but that's right, you actually write for country and pop artists. And how did you first get involved with that? And are you working on any other cool projects at the moment?
You know, I'm always just working on more songs. And, you know, it's something you just have to keep at for a long time and just keep putting them out there and keep writing with more and more people. And, you know, it definitely takes a while. But you just sort of always keep doing it. So, definitely, yeah. I was out there in November and, you know, wrote a bunch of cool songs with some really great writers. So, still, like, pretty seriously pursuing that. And Troy actually was a big help when I first started, because like I said, he lives in Nashville, and so he knows a lot of people in the business out there and a lot of writers, just musicians all around. So I mentioned to him that I was thinking about coming out there to do some writing. He said, oh man, I'll hook you up with all these, you know, great guys. And he made a few calls, and it just was like the greatest thing ever. And he got me up with some really great writers on my very first trip out. So I was really lucky. You know, he's super nice guy. And,
Very cool.
yeah, it was awesome.
So obviously you'll be touring for most of the year, but what's in the future for Tesla and your solo project? Can you tell us a little bit about what to expect maybe for down the year and, maybe with the next albums?
Yeah, with Tesla, we're still really pushing the Simplicity album. It's funny, it's almost been a year, but it doesn't feel like it.
No, definitely not. Yeah.
It's weird. We toured it pretty hard for about 6 months, and then we took 6 months off. So we'll see, but I think we're probably going to be, promoting this album for a while longer. And we have also talked about starting to get together a box set, kind of a career sort of retrospective thing during this coming up year. So that'll probably be the next Tesla thing that comes out. But don't quote me on it. We'll see. Things always change in our camp, so you never know. But yeah, we'll just be touring. I mean, we're going to be out with Leppard till October, so we'll be really busy. And then, I think I'll probably start trying to record my solo stuff after the Leppard tour is over. During that long break, we're going to take months off. So hopefully I'll have some time to get it all knocked out, and hopefully do this next solo record kind of like in one sitting, like a week or two, kind of knock it all out instead of sporadically over a year.
No, that sounds like a great plan.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking hopefully my solo record will come out, early 2016, and who knows about the Tesla thing, but we're really kind of still in Simplicity mode, and we're really stoked on that album, and really, enjoying the reaction. The fans have all really gotten into it because it's definitely sort of old school Tesla, so we're still pushing it.
No, I think it's a really kick-ass album, and definitely, I think the fans have really welcomed, the new album, and it's been, I think you're one of the best live bands. I've always thought so, and I think that definitely, with the mix of the classic Tesla tunes as well as the new stuff off of Simplicity, the fans are really going to be enjoying, definitely your tour with Def Leppard as well. So.
Oh, thank you. Cool. Yeah, I hope so.
Well, Dave, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. Really appreciate it, and have a great tour, and we'll catch you on the road this summer.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on. It was great talking to you, and we'll see you out there.
Bye, Dave.
All right. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
From the phonograph record to the